The time has come to install Talos Linux. I first installed Talos about 5 months ago and I made a lot of mistakes. I wrote down some of those pitfalls and I'm hoping that I can remember some of the other ones so I can help prevent you from making the same mistakes that I did. And I also want to thank Brilliant for sponsoring this video. In order to install Talos, we're going to need a USB thumb drive and a computer to install Talos Linux on. Let's get into it. To generate our Talos image, we will use the image factory that siderolabs has conveniently provided for us. They are the makers of Talos Linux. We're going to select a bare metal installation and then we will choose our Talos Linux version. We're going to pick the AMD x86-64 image. I'm going to leave secure boot off. And here we can select some system extensions that will give Talos some additional features and drivers. I'm going to keep it simple here because some of these can get a little complex in terms of the configuration that you need to do. But I am going to install the Intel GPU pass-through and the Intel U code. This will allow us to send the GPU information to Talos Linux. So we've got those selected. We're going to go to the next screen here. This is where we can apply some kernel arguments for Talos. Again, I'm not going to select any because I'm trying to keep this simple, but if you had specific kernel arguments that you wanted to apply to Talos, this is where you would set them. They get baked into your image. And now we can download our ISO. So I'm just going to click the link here to download it. And I'm also going to get this schematic ID. I'm going to copy that in case I need it for later. And with our image downloaded, now we need to get it set up on our USB drive. I'm going to be using the Raspberry Pi imager to do this on my Mac. You could also use something like Etcher, Disk Utility, or if you're on Windows, you could use Rufus. But I just chose to use the Raspberry Pi imager because it works great. So we're not going to select a device, but we are going to choose our operating system and we're going to choose a custom image. And then we're going to select our ISO that we just downloaded. And here's where you would select your USB drive. Now I am using a KVM with a built-in drive. It's the Kiwi KVM from Cytrance. And I've already installed the Talos ISO on that KVM, but for your purposes, you would just click next. You don't need any customization or anything and just write the ISO to the USB drive. Then once your USB is set up, now we need to get into the BIOS or into your boot menu to where you can select your USB drive. So definitely plug it up. I'm installing this on a Zima Blade, which is a pocket-sized computer. I want to set the boot options here. It's set into the internal flash storage. I'm just going to change this over to the generic mass storage, which is the Kiwi KVM. In your case, you would select the USB drive. It'll probably say something similar to generic mass storage. And we will save and exit. Yes. And that's going to cause our Talos node to reboot. And we're just going to let it go into the Talos ISO. Oh, it's exciting. We're booting up. The first thing Talos does is it loads itself into the memory of your system. So it's not fully installed. It did take the image from the ISO and put it into the memory, but it hasn't written it to the disk yet. And somehow it has already given me a host name. I don't understand how I already have a host name. I have been installing this and uninstalling it over and over just to get more and more familiar with the process. If you press F3, you can go over to the network tab and you can give your host a name. I'm going to stick with YouTube. Whoop, that's YouTube. Tab down and save. We've got our host name set. Now we need to install Talos to the disk, so let's do that. And we will need our handy dandy terminal. Let's just clear this. Again, I told you I was doing some testing. The first thing we need to do is install talosctl. I always forget because I already have it installed, but you definitely have to have talosctl installed. So we'll just run, let's go look at the documentation. Talosctl here. and brew install, let's just copy this, brew install siderolabs talosctl. You will have to change this depending on your operating system, but I do have brew set up on my Mac. Okay, we'll paste that and run it. Now that we have talosctl, we need to generate our configuration file. talosctl gen config, and we need to give our Kubernetes cluster a name. I'm going to call it subscribe please. And we need to set our endpoint 13.17.32.643. I'm getting this error because I was already tinkering with this, so let's do a force so it overwrites those files. Boom, now we're good to go. Oh, I almost forgot. We need to set a static IP. Because Talos is API driven, if we don't set a static IP and the node reboots after installation and DHCP assigns a different IP address, we will not be able to interface with the node anymore. So what I'm going to do is log into my router. I happen to be using a Unify router, so I will just find the client device, and I know that it's this Casa OS because it's a Zemo blade. I just need to set a fixed IP address. So your router is going to be different, but that is what you need to do. Log into your router, set a fixed IP address. That way we ensure that this node stays on the same IP. We've got our configuration files. We've set our static IP. The next thing that could trip us up is the disk. By default, Talos looks for /dev/SDA to install the operating system. But I know for a fact that on this Zemo blade, the internal flash memory has a different name. This also bit me on my HP mini PCs as well. Dev SDA was defaulting to the USB drive. We can get the disk information using talosctl, and we're going to run the insecure flag because we have not yet applied a configuration to set up our certificates. We'll do talosctl, we'll specify our node 13.17.32, get disks, and we have to do a -- insecure. Why is this connection refused again? What in the world? Did I not reset? This is actually kind of cool. Talos is keeping me from messing with the operating system because it thinks it is still installed to the disk. I mean, it is still installed to the disk. It's not allowing me to make configuration changes, which is a kind of nice feature, honestly, from a security perspective. But for this demo, kind of slows me down a little bit because now I need to make sure that I reset this thing. And this also explains why it was still named YouTube. Let's reboot this thing. I'm just going to pull the power on it, and we're going to reset it to maintenance mode. This should get us back to a state where we can interface with the cluster. I thought I had already done this before I turned the camera on, but apparently not. It looks like it's trying to reset here. I don't have a host name now, which is nice. I see that I am in maintenance mode, that's good. And my IP address is still the same, so that's good. So let's go in here and set the host name, YouTube. We've given our node a host name. I need to delete these files. Actually, no, I can just overwrite them again. Okay, so let's run through this again. We already have talosctl installed. We already have our IP address set. Let's generate a config. This one has the force. We're gonna have to do that again because we already have config files. Let's go see if we can get disks. This is much better. Now I can see the disk. And remember exactly what I was saying? SDA. You see SDA is USB. When we look in the machine config file, you're gonna see that Talos defaulted to install to dev SDA, which would have been a problem in this case. Now I know that my internal storage is this MMCBLK0, so we're going to copy that so we can apply it to our machine config. Let's get our control plane configuration file open so we can make some changes. This machine config file is a declarative YAML file that essentially allows you to tell your Talos node what you expect. So you can define disk settings, network settings, Kubernetes settings, so on and so forth. First thing we're going to do is set our disk. So let me find that key value pair. So this is the install section disk dev SDA. That would have been a problem. Change that. So we're going to install to the MMC BLK 0. And because this is a single node cluster, this is going to be a control plane and a worker node at the same time. So we have to enable that. So let me just search scheduling here. Here we go. Allow scheduling on control planes true, which is commented out. So we are going to uncomment that. Hopefully the indentation is correct. And is there anything else in here that I want to configure right now? I don't think so. We're going to save this. Okay, now we can apply our configuration file, which is going to install Talos to the disk. talosctl, and we have to apply config. We have to specify our node, 1932. This has to be insecure because our certificates and keys are not set up yet. And we have to give it a file. So it's users, Chris, and controlplane.yaml. The installer is going, so it is installing. I am going to remove the storage from the host. That way the next time this thing boots, it will boot directly from the internal storage. You should also pull the USB drive, just in case. I had issues in the past where the USB was doing funky things after installing Talos. So here's our installation. It's already booting from the disk. That's a great sign. While we wait, I highly recommend Brilliant for learning. I am on a 20-day streak with their Thinking in Code curriculum, and it is evolving the way that I write, review, and think about code. I can already see a difference at work. These step-by-step interactive lessons are pushing my coding skills and helping me accelerate my career. I also let my son try Brilliant for a little while, and he loved it. And he especially loved it because it's not just videos, it's interactive problem solving. Learn by doing. To learn for free on Brilliant for a full 30 days, go to brilliant.org/goatsinapond, scan the QR code on the screen, or click the link in the description. Brilliant has also given our viewers 20% off the annual subscription, which gives you unlimited daily access to all of the curriculum on Brilliant. All right, we have Talos installed. We have the proper host name. We just need to get an IP address, and then we can bootstrap Kubernetes. Come on, get connected. It takes a second sometimes. It wants to get like the time servers and everything in sync. Okay, we got a health check successful. That's good. And then kubelet is healthy. That is also good. Now we are ready to bootstrap Kubernetes on top of this thing, because if we leave it like this, there's not really much we can do with Talos. So it's going to sit here and complain that etcd is not up yet, but that's because Kubernetes isn't installed. So let's do it. In order to do this, we're going to run talosctl bootstrap. We'll specify our node. 32, we'll specify our endpoint, 13, 17, 32. We have to specify an endpoint now because we have installed Talos, and so it needs to know the endpoint of the API to look for. And now that Talos is fully installed, we also have to tell it where our talosconfig file is, because that has our certificates and keys that allow us to connect to the API. So we specify talosconfig. Kubernetes is bootstrapping. It has started the task to install Kubernetes. You're going to see a lot of errors in the console while this installs. Don't worry. It takes a few minutes, sometimes like up to 10, but usually not. But you will see a lot of errors. Just let it run. It'll do its thing. And eventually we'll get like a healthy state and we'll know that the cluster is running. All right, Kubernetes is bootstrapped. Let's just run some health checks to make sure that everything is truly good. But before we do that, we're gonna assign our endpoint so we don't have to specify it in every command run. And we're also going to assign an environment variable for the talosconfig so we don't have to specify it in every single run. To set the endpoint, we'll run talosctl config endpoint, and we will specify that endpoint. Boom, that adds it to our config. And we are going to export our Talos config variable. So users and Talos config. That's the location of my Talos config. Yours could be different. We are just assigning that variable. So during this shell session, the talosctl commands will look at that variable and pull in the data from that file to connect to the cluster. All right, perfect. This is gonna help us for this next command because now we're gonna merge our kubeconfig with our Talos config. talosctl kubeconfig node 10, 13, 17, 32. This should work. If we had not assigned the endpoint and the Talos config variable in those two previous commands, we would have to specify them right now. So let's see if this works with this shortened command. And that was to be expected because I had already been tinkering. Like I said earlier, we're gonna overwrite and overwrite. Okay, now kubectl get nodes. Yes, success. We have successfully installed Talos and bootstrapped Kubernetes. Let's do one final health check. talosctl node 10, 13, 14, 32, and it's just health. Yes, success. It looks good. Everything's up and running. That's amazing. And with that, you have now successfully deployed Talos Linux and you bootstrapped Kubernetes on top of it. So you're ready to start building your infrastructure and deploying applications. I really want to show you more about the GitOps way of doing things, but I'm gonna have to do that in the next video. But this is the starting point for you to set down the journey of learning more about Kubernetes and learning about declarative infrastructure as code, and also the GitOps mentality where your Git repo is the source of truth for your Kubernetes cluster. So that will define the infrastructure and all the applications running in your cluster. In the next video, I am going to do a deep dive on OneDrop's cluster template. It is an amazing tool that helps you get a strong foundation with Talos Linux and Kubernetes, and he helps you bootstrap some of the GitOps tools that really push this process along. I am so grateful that you stuck around and watched this video. I really suggest subscribing and hitting that bell notification so you get notified when the next video drops. I cannot wait to see you all on the next one. Peace. And also, good job. See you.